Casey, welcome back to Breakdown.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Somehow your partner in crime has a week off? That's unheard of around here.
Yeah, it's much deserved.
He's the
GravityKit team
boss,
works
yada
hard.
yada yada. I mean, who cares, right? Yeah, we're talking about Zach Katz of GravityView and GravityKit. Today we're talking about GravityKit 3.0 was released, and Casey's going to walk us down the path of some of that stuff today. Maybe some other stuff that you guys have been working on, more importantly. But how has the rollout been of 3.0? What's new? What's your favorite feature set of GravityKit 3.0?
Yeah, well, it's pretty exciting. So it's GravityView 3.0. GravityView is our flagship plugin. Essentially, it's an app builder on top of Gravity Forms. You can leverage your Gravity Forms data and display it on the front end, and then you get a whole host of tools for creating nice displays, searching, filtering, exporting, all of that kind of stuff. So GravityView 3.0 really, it is two things. It is an under the hood refactor, which kind of optimizes a lot of the code and improves performance and kind of lays the foundation for some future things that we're working on as well, and just gives us a better foundation to build on, which is great. But then we also have a whole host of new features, much requested features that we're really excited to bring out. So I'll go through a couple of the headliners. We have a new theme framework in GravityView. So now we've shipped one theme with 3.0, which is called Vantage. You can go in, you can toggle it on, and it'll give your views a really nice modern look right out of the box. It also has an inbuilt grid, so you can create grid layouts with it as well that look really great. No CSS required. We've then got integration native.
I just want to just jump in real quick. When you
Please.
say theme, this is a theme for the view itself. We're not talking about a WordPress theme. We're talking about sort of a theme style for how your content displays inside of your existing theme.
Yes, exactly. Thanks
Yep.
for clearing that up, because themes
Yeah.
obviously is a
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And
something
that's a
else in
big,
WordPress.
yeah, and that's a big, what's a big hurdle, right? Because a lot of times when folks are just using core Gravity forms and just putting forms on some kind of theme, whichever theme they're using, God knows, some of the people have pulled themes from, behind the couch that they bought from Theme Forest 17 years ago. And it's like, it doesn't look, the form doesn't look good. And it's this week, well, look, the theme is, messing with the HTML and the CSS and the layout. The theme's not coded the WordPress way. So I can understand why that move in that direction is a huge benefit to you guys for displaying all that data that people use Vue for.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, people just want something that looks good,
Yeah,
and we don't want them to have to mess around with CSS and things like that to get it to look good. So
yeah,
this is the direction we decided to take, and of course, you don't have to enable it; it's off by default. But
okay.
you can use it if you want to. Um, And so, yeah, another thing we're excited about is we now have native modules for Divi, Beaver Builder, and Elementor, which are, the most popular page builders that our customers are using. So instead of embedding a view being well, before it was okay, if you wanted to embed this view in an Elementor, you had to use a shortcode and paste it into an Elementor widget. Now we have a native widget that you can use to do that. You get a nice live preview in the Elementor editor. You can configure the view right in there. So everything stays in the builder that you're actually using already, which is really nice. And then we have front-end bulk actions as well. So this is a new widget in GravityView. You can add to your view on the front end, and you can configure it so you can enable the different actions that you want your users to be able to take. And it has support for things like bulk approving entries, bulk editing entries, bulk deleting, bulk export, as well as resending notifications and downloading attachments in bulk. So for example, if you have a form with a file upload field and people have uploaded files along with their entries, you can now download those in bulk from your view on the front end, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And
I imagine
yeah,
that I imagine the front end stuff is this is something that I've been pursuing in WordPress for, I don't know, 15 years. Is like how can you leverage WordPress as well, I think you kind of said it with the hook of what GravityKit is all about. I think you said something like app builder, which is, or GravityView is
yep.
an app builder. And that's something I've been pursuing. You know, how can we best frame WordPress as this foundation to build? You know, some people, when they hear apps, they go way far ahead. They're like, well, it's not an iOS app. It's not an Android app. Well, we're not talking about that. And sometimes people go, well, it's not this, super complex SaaS app. Well, it doesn't have to be that either. It can have like this application functionality that isn't so, I guess, highbrow to like a lot of how engineers think about it. And this is really cool that you're enhancing the front end capabilities. I'd say it's probably even more important these days with AI to make that process as fast and easy as possible. Just like with themes, people are going, I just want this thing to look good. Now, when they start just inching into that territory of app building, they're going to say, just give me all the functionality of like
Yes.
front end editing. And it's just like, okay, how do we balance this? And I'm sure that's a interesting twist these days with AI. It's a sort of yin and yang, because, and I know this is a long tangent, but this is something that's always on my mind, is I think with AI, you're going to have this whole swath of people who are like, I'm just going to build it with AI. And then they go hours and hours and they're trying to get it right and they're trying to push it into WordPress. And then they're like, I can't do it in WordPress, so let me go do it over on the static thing. Then they can't do it on the static thing. And then if they just came and bought GravityView, they'd be done, in like 10 minutes, right? And they spend all that time trying to do it themselves when they could have just bought GravityView. So I think we have this interesting thing that'll happen where people will go, do I build this or do I buy this? And it's because of AI, they've realized the value of just, I'm just going to go buy this. Like, even I don't want to wait anymore for the agent to finish the job. I know what I want. Let me just go buy it. And I think that's an interesting thing that we're headed into.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you can build with AI, but you have to build on a solid foundation. And so, talking about AI, another new thing in GravityView is our AI connector. So this ties in exactly to what you were saying, Matt. We have a GravityKit MCP server. It's completely free. Anybody can use it. And it already has full support for Gravity forms. So you can create forms and you can create entries and create feeds and things like that in Gravity forms. But now with GravityView 3.0, it has full support for view creation as well. So essentially, you can have a full app up and running, form, entries, view, just with a single prompt now, and you can have your AI build it for you. And this is leveraging the WordPress Abilities API, which was released in version 6.9. We're really excited about it. And again, like if you want to build with AI, you can absolutely do that, but you're building on something that is proven and tested and already has a lot of functionality out of the box. So we're excited to offer that to people who want to go that route.
Yeah. How was the not to put you in the hot seat, but how was the testing of all of that stuff? Like, you're telling the AI to do one thing, and then how is the output? How are the guardrails for the MCP, especially for the view side of things? Did you run into, did you run into any use cases, edge cases with customers that were doing things you're like, oh god, we never thought about that, or customers were really pushing it to the max? Any stories like that you could tell?
Not yet. It's still pretty new. We haven't run into anything like that. We obviously ran into a lot of things while we were testing it internally, and we kind of ironed out a lot of the issues before releasing it. But yeah, as I say, it's still quite new. I think, I don't know what you think about this, Matt, but I think there's still a minority of users who are using MCPs for WordPress and building that way. So I'm sure things will start to ramp up as people get more comfortable with AI, and we'll start to see kind of some of the cool stuff that people start doing. but we use it a ton internally. Like I write tutorial posts and documentation and stuff like that. And I often need to set up demos or test certain functionality. And I can just have Claude set that stuff up in the background while I'm working on other things. And when I need it, it's right there and everything's working. So it saves me a lot of time, like almost every day, which is
Yeah,
really cool.
literally how I use MCP for WordPress 99% of the time, especially, obviously creating content and creating dummy data and stuff like that, or placeholding data. It's how I use it. I was just like, hey, make 50 posts about pizzas and go nuts, and just like do that, please, and make these images, and it does make life interesting. Yeah, the MCP adoption, even for me, sometimes it's just like, okay, I got to set up the config file, and sure, you could just throw it to. I primarily use Claude Code in the terminal, but I even find just setting it up just sometimes is just annoying, just to get it to work. But I think once WordPress sort of matures, like the core MCP stuff, like it'll probably be easier from like that domain level. We'll almost have like, I hope, maybe have like a, I don't know, air quotes, sign on to our own domain, like one-click sign on to our own domain to connect it. That would be really cool. I was talking at a contractor working at my house yesterday, and he was asking how he found me, and I still use websites, right? I still research websites. I still look at people's websites. I look at the work that they do. And he was talking about how he gets most of his traffic because, fun fact, this is another tangent, but relevant. He uses Gravity Forms. And when I submitted his Gravity Form I didn't like inspect the code. I didn't know it was Gravity Forms until I contacted. And when I sent it through, it said through the default error message that this form cannot send email. So I was like, this is Gravity Forms, whoever built this site, which, by the way, was somebody I used to compete with when I ran my agency, right? Because this is a local guy. So when he came to the house, anyway, this is a long story short, I contacted him through his phone, used the phone, and I ended up hiring him. He was here yesterday, and I was like, hey, did you get that site fixed? And he's like, no. He's like, I never even look at my site because I get so much word of mouth traffic and so much Google ad and Facebook traffic that the website is like fourth or fifth on the lead list. So I found that interesting. But what he said, he's like, I'm trying to shut off, and he's just a average business owner. He's like, I'm trying to shut off all of the AI stuff that Google does with like Google. I guess I don't even know they do it like with his Google business listings. Facebook turns on AI by default so that when you send them a message, it responds to them in some kind of like AI fashion. He's like, the thing I'm trying to do now is shut off all of this AI that is responding to my customers because it's all wrong. It's all wrong. So, yeah, the point of me telling you that story is I think you and I and probably folks listening to this, we're still obviously the early adopters for this kind of thing. And I know there's a lot of people who are fearful for like, oh, our customers are going to go and do our AI, go do their website with AI. And I just talked to your average business owner, and he needs help, but it's not just about the website anymore. It's about the broader picture. So I think that's a takeaway for freelancers and consultants that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. AI is definitely disrupting a lot of stuff, and there seems to be a lot of people who are really forging, like, getting far ahead with AI and using it to its maximum capabilities, and then there are other people who are still very skeptical and still
Yeah.
having issues with it. So it's in this interesting transitional phase. But I
Yeah,
want to go
for
back
sure.
just to something you mentioned at the beginning was, getting MCP set up. There can be this technical hurdle where you need to like edit a config file and stuff like that, and a lot of users aren't comfortable with that sort of stuff. So I think once it does become easier to set up, you will see more people using it. And this is something we've put a lot of thought into as well, because we have another MCP that we offer called the Block MCP for editing WordPress content, and we realized it was just too confusing for people to set it up. So we created it as a WordPress plugin, where essentially you just install it on your website, and then you like you choose how you want it configured, and you click a button, and then it's done. There's no editing config files or like pulling from a GitHub repo or anything like that. So I'm really like proud that we have something like that, and I hope that a lot more of these MCPs will go that route, where all the kind of configuration just happens in the background, and the user just has a nice screen that they can look at to see, what capabilities that they've granted the AI and things like that.
Is that available
yeah.
on the GravityKit website? Where can we find that so we can add it to the show notes, or the listener or viewer can just go download it?
Yeah, so it's on the GravityKit site. If you go to gravitykit.com/products, it's under free products. It's one of the free plugins that we offer. You can just install it on your site. There's you go to settings, block MCP, and then you can configure it there. It's just a one-click configuration.
Yeah, I see it right there. Awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's something that I'm going to have to give. Actually, I already told you I was going to give it a shot, but now I'm seeing it again. I'm like, oh yes, I need to give this a shot because I've been dying to try it out.
It's really good.
Yeah,
and I'm not
awesome.
just saying that because we built it.
That's awesome. Anything else on the new GravityView 3.0 launch?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more that's new on GravityView 3.0. What I mentioned are kind of the headline features, but we do have a lot of other smaller things that we've added. We've got better date range search now. We've got something where if you change the layout of your view, let's say you change it from a table to like a list layout or something like that, what used to happen is that all the configuration that you had done, adding fields and everything, would reset. You'd have to do it again. That doesn't happen anymore. That data stays there and just moves over to the new layout, which I think is really nice. We've also added view revision history, so you can roll back to like a previous version of your view if you made a mistake or something like that. And a bunch of other small kind of quality of life improvements that we're really happy about. So yeah, I'll just encourage anybody who is using GravityView, make sure you update to the latest, and you'll get access to those new features. And if you have any questions, you can always ask us. If you want to see what's new before you update, you can just go to gravitykit.com /GravityView-3-0, and that is the hub page for everything GravityView 3.0. You'll see little MP4 videos there showing you the kind of different features. We have links to our documentation there as well. So everything you need to know is there.
And this is a new redesign, I think, from the last time you and I chatted. Even I don't think I've had Zach on since. It's a new looking site, right? It looks great.
Yes,
you can find everything nice and readable. Looks good. I love all the nice large feature blocks, so I can understand what it is that GravityView does, or like any of the sub products does. It's a really good looking site. Good job.
Yeah, it's much better than it was, and we're having a lot of fun kind of building it out. And that's one of the things that Block MCP has been helping with, actually. Setting up these landing pages.
That's a great way of dog fooding your own product. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Before we hit record, you said we had some other stuff that you wanted to cover, and for the audio listeners, for the podcast listeners, head on over to our YouTube channel. At the end of this video, Casey's going to show us, or at the end of this episode, Casey's going to show us a few things visually, which you can do through the power of YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel, which will be linked up in the show notes. Gravity Forms Podcast. If you just search for that, you'll find that on YouTube. And he's going to show off some of the stuff. But you also said you wanted to talk about a search product. What do we have with search?
Yeah. So recently we released a new add-on called Gravity Search, and this has been something that we've wanted to do for a while. So we're quite excited about it, and it allows you to essentially search entries across all of your forms in the admin, and then it also adds some advanced search capabilities. So you can it actually has like a little query builder. So once you install the plugin, it adds a new page under Gravity Forms called Global Search. You can go there, you can see all of the entries under all of your forms, and you can search by date. You can do keyword search, and then you can do an advanced search where you can kind of build your own search query. You can have like multiple conditions and things like that, get very granular. and then you can run those searches across all your forms. And then what happens is the URL actually updates dynamically when you do a search. So you can bookmark those URLs to return back to those searches or to share that data with somebody else on your team, which is quite nice. And then we also have the advanced search built into the regular Gravity Forms entries page for all your different forms. So you can run those advanced searches within a specific form if you want to as well.
That's fantastic. As you were explaining it, I was thinking of the nonprofit site that I manage, and we do annual, we do a golf tournament, we do a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, and those are once every year. And we're going into our 4th year, and now it's becoming okay, this was fun when we first started, like managing all of this stuff. But now it's like, okay, we're going into year 3 and 4. We have like all these donors and all these other people who like want to come back every year. So that's great. So now it's like compiling all of this information, all of this data, and like searching across like who are all the sponsors that we've had for the last, three years and stuff like that. And then you're like, oh man, do I send this all to a Google Sheets? Do I MCP search it? But I'm on a nonprofit board. These folks aren't using MCP. Like, there's no way. I'm like, say, hey, connect up to your Claude account. So like stuff like this is really good for sure. Especially when you have those long historical lead gen forms or very business critical forms where you're trying to search for stuff. I mean, this is great.
Yeah, exactly. Once your site moves past more than like 4 or 5 forms and you're collecting a sizable number of entries, it really helps to have an interface where you can search across everything and do queries that allow you to kind of dive more granular into your data and then be able to share those results and save those searches for the future. I think it's really beneficial. And yeah, if anybody's interested, you can head on over to our website and check that out. We have a live demo as well, so you can demo the product before you decide to purchase. Yeah,
I'm on the Gravity search page right now. Buy now, try a demo, have questions. Would you consider this something like Zach's going to kill me when he hears this, but is this like an inverse GravityView to a degree where you can kind of build a save search? And maybe you don't need all the front end stuff, right? Like you don't need it to be on the front end of the website. You don't need design and theme and other like filtering functionalities. You just want to say, hey, this is a saved search akin to a view, like search for all leads in the last 90 days. And then you can just save that. You can just share that with people who actually have access to the WordPress site. Is that's theoretically what you could do? Or am I totally off base?
Well, so right now you can share those searches, but only via a URL. So you can't actually like save a separate screen in the admin, for example. We may look at adding something like that in the future, but right now it's just the URL that updates, and then you can just grab that URL, and it'll always take you back to the global search page that's been.
Gotcha.
It has that search preset already.
Gotcha. Yeah, still helpful. I mean, especially if you're the webmaster of the website and you're always like pruning data or coming in to check on things. I'm gonna have to give that a shot. Gravity Search, you can find it at gravitykit.com.
Absolutely.
We're going to jump into a short little demo, Casey. Again, for those of you in the audio side, this is where this episode will end. You can find everything that we talked about at gravitykit.com. GravityView 3.0 is here. I realize I said GravityKit 3.0 is here when I kicked off the show. It's GravityView 3.0. Why not GravityKit 3.0? Yeah, let's just call it that. You can check out everything there. You go to gravitykit.com. There's a big banner. It says Explore GravityView 3.0. You can click that and explore some more. We talked about View. We talked about Search. GravityKit.com. Casey, anywhere else you want them to go before we go into the demo?
No, that's about it. But as always, if you have questions, you can always email us. My email is casey@gravitykit.com. Happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Fantastic stuff. Everybody, you're listening to Breakdown. You can find Breakdown wherever you get your podcast by searching Breakdown Gravity forms. We haven't broken through the single keyword SEO yet. So break down Gravity forms. You'll find us wherever you're listening. Follow us there and share it with your friends who use Gravity forms or WordPress. All right, Casey, we're going to dive into your little demo for the viewers that are still here. Just let me know if you have any problems sharing the screen, and we'll hop right in.
Sounds good. Yeah, let me clear up some of my windows here that I have open. I'm gonna just share my full screen, I think, and that way everything should get picked up on the screen share.
We'll see all your football bets.
Let's see.
All your FIFA
that
bets.
One. That should be it.
There it is.
How's that looking?
Good.
All right, cool. Yeah, I thought we could just go over a few of the new features that I mentioned in GravityView 3.0.
Sure thing.
I thought what would be cool is if I could get Claude working on a view, and then we can look at some of the other features, and we can come back and see how Claude did. So I was mentioning we have this AI connector which runs through our GravityKit MCP. Oh, I've lost it. Let me open it again. And I've hooked that up to my Claude account already, and it has access to my local demo site. So what I can do is just prompt Claude to build a view for me. And I'm now realizing I need my notes over here. All right, so I have a prompt that I've pre-written. I'm going to go ahead and paste that into Claude. So it just says, create a published GravityView table view on the job application form with multiple entries, single entry, and edit entry zones. Use the Vantage theme, sort newest first by date created, and include a search bar. And then I've told it to use view number 7 as a reference. That's a view I already have set up. That's just to make it go a little bit quicker. Otherwise, it's going to ask me a bunch of questions about how I want things set up.
So and when you say it's set up, that's a view that's already saved in WordPress.
Yep, exactly. All right, I'm going to move that over here, and then we'll come back to it. But yeah, let's check out the styles first. I think this is a good one. So I have a couple of views that I've set up. I'll go ahead and open this one. This is my user registrations view, and it's using our list layout. And you can see this is what it looks like with no styling applied at all. So you've just got, a simple search bar at the top. It's inheriting some of the basic styles from the theme that I'm running. And then here is each of the entries just listed one after the next. And these are user registrations. So pretty basic. But let's say I wanted to display this in a nice looking grid, and I wanted to give it a bit of a modern look. And that is now really easy with GravityView 3.0. So all I need to do is edit the view. Go into the view editor here, and scroll down here to the view settings, and we have this new styles tab. So we have legacy here, and we have Vantage, which is our new modern theme that we've shipped with 3.0. So if I go ahead and enable that, I now have the ability to choose how many columns I want. So in this case, I'm going to select 3 columns, and then we can check this box to make them equal height. And so that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to update the view, and then we'll come back here and refresh the page. And you can see that gives it a nice new look. We've got a nice 3-column grid. The search bar looks good. The styling is a lot more modern. We have this nice hover effect on the entry cards. And then these styles also carry over to the single entry page, as you can see here. And then also to the edit entry page, where you can update the view from the front end. And you can see that is nicely styled as well. So yeah, it's a great way. Yeah, it's nice. It's not too in your face. It's quite subtle, but it's a nice modern look for your views.
So in the case of this example, which was at the start, it was a list view. Does Vantage not do list views if somebody wanted a list view?
Yeah, it's still a list view. So okay. It's just that the grid has been applied to it.
Okay, I see.
So Vantage works across any of the layouts that GravityView supports.
Gotcha.
So whether that's a table, a list, a data table, or even using our layout builder, which is a way to kind of design a custom looking view, Vantage will apply the styles across any layout that you're using. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it looks great.
Cool. Yeah. So let's take a look at the front end bulk actions. So I have another view set up here for support tickets. And if we open that on the front end, you can see this is using the table layout and the Vantage theme is applied. And now let's say I'm running a support desk, a basic support desk. I'm taking support requests through a Gravity form and they're getting pulled into my view here. And now, I might have customers who are attaching images to their bug reports or other files, and maybe I want to download them in bulk. So now you can do that with this new bulk actions widget. And I should actually just go to the editor. Let me open the view editor quick. We can see what that looks like in the view editor. So you can see it's added at the top here as a widget, bulk actions. And if I go into the widget settings here, I can select which actions I want people to be able to perform. So we have a whole host of actions here, from approving entries to downloading attachments to resending email notifications. And then you can actually configure how each of these actions operate just by clicking this configure button. So there's a lot of different options here. But if I go back to the front end, just show you how this works, it's the same as it works in the Gravity Forms backend, where you have essentially checkboxes here, and you can select the entries that you want to apply bulk actions to. You can also just click this to select all of them, or select every single entry in your view if you wanted to. Click the bulk actions drop down, and for this example, I'll just select download attachments, and then apply. And what that'll do is package up all of the attached files for those entries into a zip file that actually runs in the background by default. So if you have like hundreds of entries, you don't actually necessarily have to wait on the page for that to finish. It'll just run in the background. And then you come back and it's prepared a zip file. So 25 files here, and I can just click download zip, and that'll download the file to my computer. So yeah, cool. That's a nice way to perform actions in bulk. Like I mentioned, you can also do stuff like bulk approving entries. You can also do bulk edit, which is really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. So on the download, is to download the files, is zip the only option? Can people download or export in CSV from the front end, which I know is a common thing that people want? Maybe not in bulk. Yes. I guess it wouldn't make sense.
You can actually do that.
Okay,
so
cool.
you can bulk export, and that'll export all your entries as a CSV file.
Okay.
So it's actually one of the options here, export entries.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So you can do that. And like I mentioned, and that'll also package that up for you into a CSV, and then you just click the link to download it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. Really cool stuff. And I think it's time to check in with Claude. Let's see what Claude is doing.
The oven bell just went off. Claude is done baking. What do we have?
Yeah, let's see. So it's come back. It looks like it's put together a bit of a plan. So here's the view it's going to create. It's looking at, the page size, and it says the theme is going to be Vantage. So everything looks good here. And it looks like it's checking with me if I want to go ahead and publish these settings or adjust anything first. I'm going to say go ahead and publish. And Claude should get to work and create that view for us. So let's give it a minute. But one thing that's nice about this is that you can have Claude working on stuff while you're busy with other things, which I find is a big time saver. So if you need to set stuff up and you have other work to do, that's a really nice use case.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Like, there's that, which is absolutely hilarious to even talk about. But like, 2 years ago when I think we all first started getting a taste of decent AI-assisted web development, we were like, look how fast this is. This is amazing. This is, this is saving us so much time. And here we are like 2 years later, and people are going, this isn't fast enough. I need faster. And it's like, wait a minute,
Yes,
people.
exactly.
Well, what happened? Like 2 years ago, we were like, this is the best thing ever, and now we want things to be even faster. And I see a lot of folks being like, how do I just get this thing to do it? I don't even want to interface with it anymore. And this is why I think that transition to somebody going, you know what? Do I even bother spending a whole day trying to get something to work when I can just go buy this thing that is already built and has all of the stuff thought of and done and supported for me? And I think that's where we win. We as product companies, I think that's, and WordPress, I think that's where we win. It's already done for you.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a time when every product was adding AI features into their product so that everyone had like their own AIs. But I think what people realize is that what people want is to be able to connect their own AI assistant to your products. They don't want to have to use your AI assistant.
Right. Right.
And that's what MCP enables, which is really cool. And it looks like Claude is done. So let's see. It says it's created this view, number 211, and it's configured the multiple entries as a table layout, single entry, edit entry, theme, search bar. So everything looks good, and it's giving me a link here to edit. So let's actually take a look and see what that looks like. Let's go ahead and, let me go ahead and copy that. And this will bring us into the view editor. So this looks good. We've got the search bar widget added to the top. We've got our fields here. It is using the table layout, which is good. If I scroll down, we can see Claude has enabled the Vantage theme there, like it asked, which is great. So if we take a look at that on the front end, there we go. So you can see we've got our view, got our little search bar at the top. We've got our table of entries. It looks like Claude has linked the entry ID to the single entry. So if I click through on that, we can see the full entry. Click through to the edit entry, and we have ability to update the data from the front end. So yeah, just a couple of minutes and you have a full view set up and ready to go.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And then you could modify, effectively, you could still modify the view, right? Like if you know the parameters, or you could just talk to it through MCP and say, oh, maybe I want to change it to a different Vantage layout or column layout. Like you could still do that and chat with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the thing is, the prompt I gave Claude was a pretty short prompt. I didn't give it a lot of detail.
Yeah.
So you can absolutely go back and forth with it and say, oh, I want other search fields added to the search bar, please. Or I want this search button, on the left here. Or, I don't want this field showing on the table, or whatever it is. And Claude can do that for you. So essentially what the MCP does is just exposes all of these tools to Claude that it has for building a view. And it's able to, configure the settings for you. It's able to change the field configuration. It's able to add and edit widgets. Basically anything you would be able to do through the view editor, Claude can do it on your behalf. It just needs to have clear instructions on what to do.
Yeah. That's awesome stuff. MCP with GravityView, and now available. If you go to GravityKit.com, you can get access to the new 3.0 version of GravityView. Check it out with the new Vantage theme and so much other stuff that we chatted about today. Casey, thanks for hanging out today.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. I really appreciate it.
Everybody go to, again, GravityKit.com. Check out all the new stuff. Go to GravityForms.com. Check out all our new stuff. We have a new web design as well. You can go to labs.gravity.com to check out our new labs site, which has, speaking of AI, experimental add-ons built by the team at GravityForms. If you're looking for experimental stuff, you want to see what's coming into the product, and you want to just check out some of the cool snippets that we've put up there, go to labs.gravity.com. We'll see you in the next episode.